Life is unpredictable. One moment you're on top of the world, accomplishing your dreams, and the next, surrounded by lonely darkness, realizing you can't go back to change what's already happened. In the league of the National Basketball Association, the legacies every player leaves behind isn't all measured by stats or trophies, but by memories they created, how their loved ones, friends, and teammates perceived them, the lives they touched, and the dreams these players inspired. Heading to the new year, always a good reminder to chase your goals, cherish the amazing moments, and leave a story that others will remember. In 2024, the basketball world said goodbye to many former NBA players who left us. Their impacts will echo through generations. Let's remember their passion, contributions, and what they meant to the NBA. Starting with Jim Rowinski, the Long Island native at 6'8", 250 pounds, became one of the greatest success stories in Purdue basketball history. From walk-on to Big Ten Player of the Year, from starting in Syosset Playgrounds, Nassau County, to being drafted 86 overall by Utah in '84, Dr. Leap played 23 total games across 2 seasons, averaged 2.5 points with Detroit, Philly, and Miami before playing overseas. James passed away of a natural cause in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, February 1st. He was 63. Earl Cureton, the Detroit, Michigan native, started college hoops at Robert Morris in Pennsylvania before transferring back home with the Detroit Mercy. Drafted by the Sixers in '79, played a dozen seasons in the NBA, 17 total professionally, before fully retiring from the game at 39 with the '97 Toronto Raptors. A member of both the '83 Sixers and '94 Rockets title team, the 6'9" power forward/center played 674 total games, averaged 5.4 points, 4.7 rebounds, an ambassador for the Pistons after he retired, and a color analyst for his alma mater. Cureton died suddenly February 4th. He was 66. Robert Reed, the 6'8" small forward, played 13 seasons in the NBA. Born in Atlanta, Georgia, attended high school and college in Texas, St. Mary's, took part of 2 NBA Finals teams with the '81 and '86 Rockets, played first 10 seasons in H-Town before spending time in Charlotte, Portland, and Philadelphia. A career 11.4 points average, remembered as one of the first pioneer point forwards, also a terrific defender and passer, averaged 8.7 assists in the '86 Finals. Reed, remembered as one of the most iconic non-All-Star Rockets the franchise ever seen. Robert remained active in his community, donating to charitable causes a lot after retirement. After stepping away from the NBA spotlight, Reed passed away February 19th after a battle with cancer. He was 68. Bob Harrison, 6'1" two-guard out of Toledo, Ohio, played at Michigan, 9 seasons in the NBA from 1949 to '58. The one-time All-Star, played for Minneapolis, won 3 titles under superstar George Mikan, spent 4 seasons in St. Louis, his last 2 with Syracuse. His craziest NBA moment, draining the first ever buzzer beater in finals history from near half court to help his Lakers win Game 1 of the 1950s finals over the Syracuse Nationals. The first Native American player in the NBA, once scored 139 points in a game as an 8th grader. Harrison later coached at Kenyon College and Harvard, also became a CEO of a manufacturing company, retired from working altogether in 1989 to enjoy life in Florida. After the death of Bud Grant, Harrison became the oldest living NBA champion and the oldest surviving NBA All-Star until his passing, March 3rd. He was 96. Dave Gunther, at 6'7", went to college in Iowa, drafted 58 overall in 1959, wasn't interested in playing professional basketball, just one career NBA game with the San Francisco Warriors, joined the Army, head coach at North Dakota for 18 years, 3 decades altogether as head coach. Remembered as a larger-than-life person that impacted everybody he came in contact with, Gunther died March 16. He was 86. Walt Wesley, the Florida native, became the first NBA player from Fort Myers, a dominant force at 6'11" for Kansas, 6th pick of the 1966 draft, spent 10 seasons in the league, played for 8 different teams, averaged 8.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, 590 games between 66 to 75, put up nearly 18-9 in 71 with the expansion Cavs at his very peak. Wesley later coached in several programs in Kansas, Western Michigan, and Army. Remembered as the greatest basketball player in Southwest Florida, very respected in his community. Wesley battled with leukemia, passed away March 28th in Tampa, Florida. He was 79. Johnny Macnowski, the Russian-born American of Polish descent, came to this world January 7, 1923, played college ball at Seton Hall, then served 3 years in World War II, drafted back when the NBA was the BAA, 3rd round in 1948, spent 2 seasons with the Syracuse Nationals, 117 games, played in the 1950 finals, 7-point career average, last played in the NBA over 73 years ago. After a wrist injury, prematurely ended his career. Macnowski became an English and history high school teacher. Johnny also became only the 2nd NBA player to ever live to 101 and also 100 years old. Stanley Lee Whitney Von Nader passed away in 2023. Macnowski died April 8th at 101 and 92 days old, surpassing Von Nader by 13 days, who was 101 and 79 days old. Darius Morris, born Los Angeles, awarded John Wooden High School Player of the Year, became one of the best point guards in the nation, took his talents to Michigan, spent 2 seasons in Ann Arbor before becoming the 41st pick of the 2011 draft, played for his hometown Lakers, 5 different teams in 4 seasons, most remembered being teammates with Kobe. LA didn't make Morris the $1.2 million qualifying offer, spent time in the G League and overseas for the Guangdong Southern Tigers, last played in France 2020. Unfortunately, Morris passed away in Los Angeles due to coronary artery disease. Drugs were found in his system. He was only 33. Tom Marshall played 4 seasons in the 50s, drafted with the 7th pick in 54, a Tennessee native. The 6'4" small forward also served in the Army, became a player coach his final season, then coached the Royals, the youngest head coach in NBA history, one of the greatest players in Western Kentucky program history. Marshall passed away May 10th in Fort Myers. He lived till 93. Bill Walton, William Theodore Walton III, born in La Mesa, California, one of the most unique personalities the world of sports will ever know. While in high school, the newly NBA expansion team San Francisco Rockets came to town. Those players needed a practice facility. Elvin Hayes often called up teenage Walton to open the door to the gym. Getting real NBA exposure at an early age, the 6'11" phenom, recruited by many colleges, quickly accepted UCLA scholarship offer under legendary head coach John Wooden. Walton led the Bruins to an NCAA record 88-game win streak, won 2 national titles, one of the most decorated collegiate players all time. Despite all the injuries, still became a top 50 and top 75 player, one of the biggest what-ifs. Played just 35 and 51 games his first 2 seasons, when able to play 65. Year 3, Big Red led his Blazers to the title at 24 years old, becoming the greatest basketball Cinderella story of the 70s, was bound to win it again the following year, becoming the face of the league and potentially the next dynasty, until his broken foot derailed not only another title, but ruined the rest of his career. Portland 50-10 with him. Walton won the MVP, later sued Portland's medical staff, played with his hometown Clippers after. More foot problems followed, rejuvenated his career with the '86 Celtics. Big Bill also an incredible broadcasting career post-retirement, received an Emmy for Best Live Sports TV Broadcast in 2001, overcame tremendous pain, having multiple surgeries after his playing days, worked with CBS, NBC, and ESPN. Walton died from colorectal cancer in his hometown in San Diego, a true gentle giant and basketball icon loss. He was 71. Tony Windies, a native Long Islander, the 6'1" point guard averaged 21 a game for Wyoming, played 9 total NBA games with the Pistons during the 59-60 season, derailed by injuries, took part in various business enterprises after his playing days, also taught junior high, coached the youth. Tony died peacefully of natural causes, May 14th. He was 91. Hup Reed, the 6'9 center, Oklahoma native, played 7 seasons in the NBA from 58 to 65. After his time in the league, coached high school, later became athletic director. Before his passing, Reed and his wife, Rosa Moore, almost celebrated 64 years of marriage together. He died peacefully at his home, May 28th. He was 89. Larry Canyon, the Philly native, played collegiate ball at LaSalle. Drafted 5th in the '69 draft by the Bulls, Larry took his talents to the ABA, averaged 26.6 points his second season, helped lead Indy to the ABA title in '72 after 4 seasons, played just 19 NBA games with the Sixers in '74, forced to retire at 26 by a chronic medical condition in his legs. Canyon moved to Florida after his playing days. He died at his home in Fort Myers, May 29th. He was 77. Drew Gordon, the older brother of Aaron Gordon, born in San Jose, played at UCLA and New Mexico. Undrafted in the 2012 draft, Drew played for multiple countries overseas, 9 total games with the Sixers in 2014-15, last played in Japan, retired professionally in 2023. Gordon tragically lost his life in the traffic collision in Oregon, May 30th. He was only 33. Chet Walker, born Mississippi, the 7-time All-Star and Hall of Famer, played 13 seasons in the NBA, 7 with the Sixers, 6 with the Bulls. Young Chet endured one of the most brutal childhoods, grew up in poverty, earned a scholarship to ball at Bradley University, picked 14 in the '62 draft, most notable for his excellence for the '67 Sixers title team, a career 18-7 guy. Should have had his number 25 jersey retired in Chicago, one of the players who saved basketball there. Walker's career ended on a contract dispute, chosen to walk away after the league stated he was a property of the Chicago Bulls, a disgusting concept given his tough beginnings. Chet never played in the NBA after that, later became a successful TV movie producer, didn't make the Hall of Fame till after his 72nd birthday. Walker passed away in Long Beach, California, June 8th, after a battle with long-term illness. He was 84. Dwayne Clee, born in North Dakota, the 6'1 point guard, became one of Indiana State's greatest hoopers, played 113 total NBA games between 1949 to 51, coached high school after, then a dozen seasons at Indiana State, a member of Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, also the team tennis coach for the Sycamores, a longtime educator, taught math and phys ed at Indiana State, one of the most influential alums the college has ever seen. Cleat passed away June 2nd. He was 98. Bill Ligon, the Tennessee native, played a season with the Pistons after 3 years at Vanderbilt, becoming just the second black player to suit up for the Commodores. Bill enjoyed a long career as an attorney in his hometown of Gallatin, passed away June 11th. He was 72. Dick Rosendahl, born St. Louis, Missouri, the 6'5 small forward, played 2 seasons with the Fort Wayne Pistons after playing at Notre Dame, became president of St. Joseph's Bank and Trust Corp. in South Bend, Indiana, an athletic director for his alma mater from 87 to 94. Rosendahl passed peacefully at his home in South Florida, June 11th. He was 94. Jerry West, the logo, an icon, Mr. Clutch, one of the true all-timers, the smartest basketball brain the world might ever know. Zeke from Cabins Creek, West Virginia. Young Jerry overcame tremendous challenges. Older brother David, killed in the Korean War, also had an abusive father. West took all his childhood frustrations on the hardwood, balled out at West Virginia, becoming one of the greatest collegiate players with a burning desire to win. One of the most intense focused competitors the NBA will ever know, led his Lakers to 9 NBA Finals in 14 seasons, becoming an All-Star every year in his career, retired as the greatest 2-guard before Michael Jordan, won a scoring and assist title, career numbers of 27, 6, and 7. West performed even better in the playoffs, had no weaknesses in his game from his shooting motion, ball handling, passing, posting up, incredible defense. possibly the most fundamentally sound, perfect guard in league history. West won his illustrious title in '72, translated his leadership, intelligence, and forward-thinking mindset to the front office, helped assemble Showtime, did everything possible to trade for Kobe, and signed Shaq away from Orlando, creating the best 1-2 punch. West later helped out the Grizzlies, Warriors, and Clippers, making those teams relevant. The Lakers wouldn't be who they are today without Mr. West, the most brilliant basketball figure the world might ever come across. There's no better person to give a better assessment of any basketball take than the logo himself. No player was more harsh on himself, who absolutely despised the Celtics when Boston was on rush to win the 2024 title. West, after hospitalized for 3 weeks, released and died at his home in Los Angeles June 12. 6 days before the Celtics won their 18th title. West was 86, his legacy the personification of basketball excellence. Jelly Bean Joe Bryant, the father of the late great Kobe Bryant, born in Philly, played ball at LaSalle, 6'9" power forward, drafted 14th in 1975 by the Warriors, played 4 seasons in the city of brotherly love, 3 with San Diego, last NBA season in Houston, a career 8.7 point average, 4 rebounds, before taking his talents overseas in Italy, where young Kobe grew up. Jelly Bean also played in France before retiring in '92, coached at his alma mater, the WNBA's LA Sparks, and also internationally. Bryant died July 15 after a massive stroke. He was 69. Harvey Marlett, the Michigan native, became the lowest drafted player in terms of selection number to play in the league, 16th round, 224th pick. Spent 3 seasons with his hometown Pistons, 61 total games, went on to become a beloved teacher and coach, taught in Atlanta for 28 years, a community in the state of Michigan, not Atlanta, Georgia. Marlett passed away August 8. He was 75. Frank Sylvie, born in Corbin, Kentucky, still holds the record, scored 100 points, the most ever in D1 basketball history, drafted first in the '54 draft, the 2-time All-Star, played 9 seasons, 6'3" shooting guard, suited for 5 different teams, most remembered for his time with the Lakers, and for missing the game winner Game 7 of the '62 finals, a miss that altered the course of NBA history. LA ultimately lost every one of those finals against Bill Russell's Celtics. Sylvie later became an assistant coach at Furman after retirement. Employed with the St. Joe Paper Company for 25 years, Sylvie died at his home in South Carolina August 13th. He was 91. Al Attles, the New Jersey native, spent his 11-year playing career with the Warriors. The 6-foot point guard took over as player coach his final season, remained the team's head coach till 1983, led his '75 team to the title, later served as GM from '83 to '86, eventually employed by the Warriors rest of his life in different roles. His number 16 retired by the franchise in 1977. Attles made the Hall of Fame in 2019. Being on the Warriors payroll for over 60 years, the longest stint of any person for one team, served as a community relations representative for the squad at the time of his passing, remembered for his professionalism, and a man of character, beloved by the entire NBA community. Attles passed away August 20th, he was 87. Mitchell Wiggins, the father of Andrew Wiggins, 6'4" 2 guard, grew up in North Carolina, drafted in '83, played 4 seasons with the Rockets, 1 with the Bulls and Sixers, most remembered for his time with the '86 finals team, suspended for 2.5 years after 1987, reinstated, played 2 more seasons, then went overseas, coached in Canada. After retirement, Mitchell dealt with a serious medical situation since 2022, passed away September 9th, he was 64. Joe Wolf, 6'11", born in Wisconsin, one of the best high school players the state's ever seen, hooped at UNC under Dean Smith, former collegiate teammates with Michael Jordan, drafted 13 in the '87 draft by the Clippers, spent 11 seasons in the NBA, averaged 4 and 3 among 7 different teams, coached for various different squads, including as an assistant for Milwaukee and Brooklyn, also in the developmental league, worked with the Bucks G League team during the time of his death. Wolf died of an apparent heart attack September 26. He was 59. Dikembe Mutombo, one of the most powerful and inspiring ambassadors the game will ever see, 8-time NBA All-Star, Hall of Famer, forever known for his amazing defense, from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, spent 3 seasons in Georgetown before becoming the 4th pick of the '91 draft, made his NBA debut age 25, won 4 Defensive Player of the Years, 18 seasons in the association as player, retired number 2 in all-time blocks, remembered for his playful finger wag at opponents after blocking their shots. Mutombo devoted his time to charitable, humanitarian causes, became the league's first global ambassador, positively impacted many communities all across the continent of Africa, an absolute treasure of a human being. But after undergoing treatment for brain tumor in 2022, Mutombo tragically passed away due to brain cancer in Atlanta, September 30th. Dikembe, one of the greatest basketball role models. He'll truly be missed. He was only 58. Gerard Mustoff, born in North Carolina, moved to Maryland at age 14, played college ball there for 2 seasons, 17th pick 1990 draft, spent his rookie season playing for the Knicks, 3 with the Suns, 179 total games, went overseas after, died October 28th on his 55th birthday. George Lehman, the 6-foot point guard, went undrafted in '63, started in the Eastern Professional Basketball League, played briefly in the NBA, 66 games, 55 with St. Louis, then 11 with Atlanta, before spending the rest of his hoops tenure in the ABA, becoming the first pro to shoot over 40% from 3 in a season. That was back in 1971. After retirement, Lehman hosted many basketball clinics, worked for Pony Shots, and owned a t-shirt business. Died November 8th, he was 83. Wesley Cox, a Louisville native, 18th pick of the '77 draft, 2 total seasons with Golden State in '78 and '79. The 6'6" small forward dealt with asthma his whole life, had to cut his career short due to it. Cox returned to Louisville, worked for Metro Parks, and as a paralegal, taught elementary and middle school, a devoted member of Highland Park Missionary Baptist Church. Cox battled with diabetes and kidney problems for 2 years before his passing. November 17th, he was 69. Bob Love, the versatile 6'8" forward from Louisiana, attended Southern College, played 11 seasons, 5 different teams, known for his Bulls tenure, became a 3-time All-Star, 3 All-Defensive teams, averaged above 25 points for 2 seasons. His number 10 jersey retired in Chicago. Love dealt with a stuttering disability for most of his life, could only work as a dishwasher and busboy at a Nordstrom in Seattle. After his playing days, Love later overcame his speech disability and became a motivational speaker, returned to Chicago as Bulls Director of Community Affairs, where he made hundreds of speeches, becoming an inspirational figure and ambassador. Also has a documentary in Find Yourself a Dream filled with inspirational comments about what Bob Love meant to some of the all-time great players. After a battle with cancer, Love passed away November 18th. He was 81. Don Oak, from the state of Illinois, 6'3" 2-guard, had his best years from '63 to '67. Made 5 consecutive All-Star teams, averaged 16 for his career, played 10 years in the league. After retirement, sold his office supply store. Remembered for his humbleness, never went out of his way to speak about his basketball career. Passed away December 2nd, he was 88. Ernie Beck, born in Philly, balled at UPenn, the first pick of the 1953 draft, territorial selection by the Philadelphia Warriors, played 7 seasons in the NBA, part of the '56 title team. The 6'4" 2-guard averaged 6 and 3 for his career. Beck later became a high school history teacher. Passed December 12th, he was 93, 1 day after his 93rd birthday. Bill Melfi, also born in Pennsylvania, attended Temple, born 11 months before Beck, drafted a year early, played 31 total games, enlisted in the Army as a dentist, served for 6 years, also in the Korean War. Melfi later opened his dental practice in Morrisville, also passed away the same day as Beck. December 12th, he was also 93. Dick Van Arsdale, the Indiana native, went to IU, played 12 seasons, first 3 with the Knicks, rest with Phoenix, scored the Suns franchise first ever points, made 3 All-Star teams in the Valley. The 6'5" guard also made a defensive team, part of the 1976 final squad, twin brothers with Tom, the first set of identical twins to play in the NBA. Dick later served as interim coach, then became an executive and TV analyst. Van Arsdale passed away December 16 due to heart and kidney failure. He was 81. Frank Kendrick, born in Indianapolis, played ball at Purdue, 6'6" small forward, 24 games with the 1975 champion Warriors before a long stint in Europe, best remembered becoming the main assistant for beloved head coach Gene Cady from 1989 to 99. Kendrick passed away December 18th after a battle with stomach cancer. On to non-NBA players, although most of them drafted, some only spent time in the ABA. Bobby Lewis, Herschel Turner, Bobby Rasco, Chad Posthumus, Yukon Karaman, drafted 2012, Bobby Hooper, Ken Gardner, Ron Charles, Paul Kane, Coy Williams, Mac Daughtry, John Godfrey, Giannis Tima, Latvian superstar of the Magic G League, tragic ending, he was only 32. Dingan Milojevic, assistant coach for the Golden State Warriors, super devastating sudden loss after a massive heart attack. After his team played in Utah, he was only 46. Blazers announcer Brian Wheeler. George Maravich didn't play in the NBA, son of Pete Maravich, he was only 42. Al McCoy, former Phoenix Suns announcer. Pat Williams, former Orlando Magic executive. Amir Abdul-Rahim, head coach of South Florida, younger brother of Sharif Abdul-Rahim. Carol Dawson, former coach of the Rockets. And the late great Lou Carnesecca coached the ABA Nets, the St. John's legend, just weeks before his 100th birthday. I had the pleasure chatting with Coach during my time in college at St. John's. Incredible person, he will be missed just like everybody else on this list. Rest in peace to everybody we lost in the NBA community in 2024. Your impacts will forever be felt on and off the court. Thank you for the memories, and your legacies will live on in our hearts.